In News 18, I'm Arunima. The big story: National Investigation Agency has cracked a big terror module. The agency has gone ahead and busted a terror module in Murshidabad, West Bengal and Ernakulam, Kerala. 9 Al-Qaeda operatives were arrested by the probe agency, which also seized from them digital devices and incriminating documents. As per the NIA, the suspects were radicalized by the terror outfit online. They were nabbed for planning an attack on important locations and installations here in India. The module was actively indulging in fundraising, and a few members of the group were allegedly planning to travel to New Delhi to procure arms and ammunition. These arrests have preempted possible terror attacks in various parts of the country, is what National Investigation Agency says. Now, there's more update coming in as far as the NIA investigation is concerned. The NIA has uncovered proof of the radicalization of this Murshidabad group. YouTube channels of Murshidabad arrests showed how they were being influenced to target innocent civilians. These YouTube channels are part of the digital evidence that the National Investigation Agency has put together to really establish the level of radicalization of these youngsters. Neetu Raghukumar is joining me live from Kerala. 3 of those people who were arrested from Ernakulam, Neetu, but they're all originally from West Bengal, is what NIA told me. We will try and connect to Neetu in just a bit, but just to get our viewers what we know so far. National Investigation Agency has been on the trail of this case for some time. They received specific intelligence about these these people who were part of the module, that they were being radicalized online. The Al-Qaeda angle is something that NIA has been closely looking at. Even in the Pulwama charge sheet, they came up with evidence to suggest that the main accused in the Pulwama case had undergone training at Al-Qaeda Taliban camps in Afghanistan. Post that, they came to this case where again the Al-Qaeda link emerged. They have also learned that the Murshidabad module was in touch with handlers who had given them indications that they might have to travel to Jammu and Kashmir to get in touch with terrorists there for exchange of arms and ammunition. So that's what we know as far as investigation so far is concerned. 3 people have been arrested from Kerala. They're also originally from West Bengal. Others have been arrested from the Murshidabad district of West Bengal. Again, NIA will seek their custody. There is a possibility that NIA will seek transit remand after the 2 sets of accused are presented in the local court, and then they will be brought to Delhi so that they are questioned at length. What is the recovery made so far? What NIA officials tell us is that they have managed to recover switches which can act to detonate an explosive device. They have recovered nuts and bolts which can be used as splinter in a bomb. They have also recovered batteries, again to give power to the detonator. They have recovered explosives material. Now, these explosives are in the form of firecrackers. Sounds innocuous, but NIA claims that from the firecrackers, these allegedly Al-Qaeda terrorists could have gleaned potassium compounds which are explosives, and using those explosives from firecrackers, using the switch, the battery and the splinters, they were trying to make a bigger explosive device which could have been planted somewhere in the country, including perhaps the national capital region. What is it that the local police is saying? Neetu Raghukumar with me. Neetu, what is the Kerala police saying? Any hint that they had about these 3 who have been arrested from Ernakulam? Any past criminal record, antecedents?
See, according to the Kerala police, what they are saying is that this was an NIA operation. This was based on the information that NIA had. They had requested the Kerala police for help, and 3 people have been taken into custody from Ernakulam. They were here as guest laborers from West Bengal, Murshidabad. Now, at least for a couple of months, these people have been working here, is what we are understanding. What police is saying is that no ammunitions were retrieved from them while they were being taken into custody. Only digital messages from one to another, that was received. Only those kinds of evidences were collected, is what we are getting to understand. On whether there will be more such raids in the raids that will be happening now, according to the police, none of them are on the pipeline right now. This is something which the NIA has been planning based on the input and the information that they have received, and they have sought Kerala police for the assistance.
Right. All right. Shaugato also with me. Shaugato, the latest information we have from the NIA is the YouTube videos that they claim is evidence enough to show how radicalized this group was. Can you tell us more about what is the content of this YouTube video? What does it really establish?
Well, it is difficult at this point in time because the video is not out in public domain. It is obviously restricted at this point. But from look of and feel of these videos, these are normal, radicalization videos that we normally see of the jihadi outfits happening, and obviously the appeals that have been not just to men but also to women in these videos, as it is established. And there are modus operandi of self-defense that is being preached and taught, and these are also self-defense just with arms, but also hand-to-hand combats. So these are educational videos in terms of combats that these groups are being are preaching to their target viewers, okay. and also appealing to the women folk as to what they can do in order to further the cause of jihad that these groups like the Al-Qaeda are to preach. Obviously, like the NIA has pointed out, that the arrested 6 people in Murshidabad from areas like Rani Nagar, from areas like Domkol and Jarongi, and all the 3 who have been arrested from Ernakulam in Kerala too have Bengal's antecedents. So they have travelled from Bengal. So it seems that Murshidabad has been the hub of such radicalization activities. It remains to be seen how far the influence of such groups have spread to, and that is perhaps the reason why we are told that raids will continue in the district of Murshidabad, and not just in Murshidabad, in the adjacent district of Malda as well.
Shaugato, just give me a second, Shaugato, because Amit Malviya of the Bharatiya Janata Party has also joined us on the broadcast. Mr. Malviya, you've already tweeted your reaction to this case. Essentially, you feel the West Bengal government was not doing enough to expose what was going on in their own backyard.
Well, it is quite natural that West Bengal and Kerala seem to have become safe haven for these terrorists. Now, it's not my argument that the terrorists will find their way into these states alone and nowhere else. But you also cannot ignore the fact that the kind of appeasement of the radical elements that goes on in these states, particularly by the concerned chief ministers, is something that acts as an encouragement for people to hold themselves up in these states, and that is what seems to be happening at the moment. It's a matter of worry, because at the end of the day, these terrorists won't just carry out their plans in the states where they hold up. It could be really anywhere in the country. And therefore, it is incumbent on every chief minister to ensure that their politics does not border to the extent that people start feeling comfortable in being in their states, as is the case with West Bengal and Kerala right now.
Mr. Malviya, often, this logic is brought before the public, that people get radicalized because they are victimized or they have suffered for some reason. But if in Kerala and in West Bengal, there is an appeasement of a particular community going on, then this doesn't fit in with that logic, isn't it? They're not really being victimized. The reason why they're getting radicalized? Well,
if you look around, the most dreaded terrorists have not been victims of circumstances. They have, in fact, been fairly well off, starting from Osama bin Laden to several other people who have moved from states like Kerala to join the ISIS ranks. They were all very well educated. They were people who had no constraints on resources, yet they have been radicalized. So radicalization does not necessarily have to do with your circumstances. It has to do with your ideological leanings, how you respond to situations, and it does seem that there is a trend when it comes to a particular community.
Mr. Malviya, while this is, this module has been busted in Kerala and Murshidabad, NIA officials tell us that their target could have been even the national capital and other vital installations across the country. So this is not a matter limited to 1 or 2 states. Would you ask the centre to take more steps so that if there are radical elements more in these areas, they are completely eliminated or at least exposed?
I said so in my earlier comment that while these terrorists may be holed up in these states because they think that they can manage to get away, given the kind of appeasement that goes on in these states, particularly of these radical elements, but they are a threat to the entire nation. They could carry out their attacks in Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, anywhere else.
Right.
So we have to be vigilant as a country. Terror has to be dealt head on, and chief ministers, particularly who thrive on creating a vote bank out of appeasement, cannot allow such radical elements to find safe haven in their states. That is a message that must be very clear.
All right, Mr. Amit Malviya, thank you so much for joining us. That was Mr. Amit Malviya from the Bharatiya Janata Party talking about what this expose that by the NIA, which has exposed Al-Qaeda module, means. Not just the central BJP, but even the West Bengal unit is targeting the TMC government for failing to ensure law and order in the state, accusing the state government of harboring terrorists. Listen in to the West Bengal unit of the BJP attack the TMC on this.
एनआईए के द्वारा जो 6 आतंकवादियों का पकड़ा जाना, ये बहुत बड़ा एक संवेदनशील घटना है, देश की सुरक्षा लिए बहुत बड़ा थ्रेट है। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से हर बार बंगाल के में ऐसा ही घटना होती है, चाहे बांग्लादेशी टेररिस्ट हो, चाहे सीमी अलकायदा आईएस के और मॉड्यूल हो, बंगाल में कहीं न कहीं जिला में इनका शेल्टर मिलता है। मुझे लगता है बंगाल की सरकार जानबूझकर इनको शेल्टर दे रही, क्योंकि इसी में उनका राजनीतिक हित है। ऐसा कोई डिस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं वेस्ट बंगाल में जहां कभी ना कभी कई 5-7 सालों में बम विस्फोट नहीं हुआ हो। तो लगातार जो घटना हुई है, इससे पता चलता है बंगाल की सरकार इस मामले में सॉफ्ट है।
So while the Bengal government is being attacked, the Bharatiya Janata Party, which has emerged as the principal opposition in West Bengal, taking on the TMC government, the governor of the state has also spoken about this. But what is it like in Kerala, Neetu? 3 of these alleged Al-Qaeda terrorists have been arrested from Ernakulam. Is politics taking center stage there also? Are questions being asked like they are being asked in West Bengal?
See, politics is definitely taking center stage over this issue. The BJP state unit has also raised questions on this, saying that the government is providing a safe haven for terror. So definitely there is politics that is being played out over this issue of terrorists, suspected Al-Qaeda activists taken into custody from the state of Kerala.
Neetu, just give me a second, because Mr. Monojit Mondal, who supports the Trinamool Congress at some level, is with me on the broadcast. Mr. Mondal, I don't know if you heard Amit Malviya and if you heard Dilip Ghosh. They're directly attacking the West Bengal government, directly questioning the Trinamool Congress government there, saying in your backyard this radicalization is happening and you're not doing enough to control them.
How do you counter such bizarre kind of statement by responsible people? But we are not surprised, because both Mr. Dilip Ghosh and Amit Malviya, they are known for this kind of statements. They have been doing it since very long. They are targeting Bengal. They are targeting the Bengali people for their own political advantage. Even during the COVID time, they, came up with all kinds of statements. Mr. Malviya saying in the month of April that West Bengal government is suppressing all data. They have got, almost 1 lakh cases. Then this is amazing. I mean, how can you do politics on this kind of internal issues? Shall we then say that the most brutal terrorist attack takes place in the BJP state? That the most brutal riot takes place in Delhi few months back, which is under the nose of the BJP government, because the Home Minister is in charge of the Delhi law and order. Should he politicize that as well? I mean, this is amazing that the most brutal terrorist attack takes place in Mumbai many years ago when BJP was ruling, BJP and Shiv Sena were ruling. The terrorist attack takes place in Bangalore when BJP was ruling. I mean, this is amazing. Yeah, in fact, they should appreciate the fact that the West Bengal government and the Kolkata police have arrested these terrorists. They are known. They have got efficient police, machineries to arrest them. In fact,
Mr. Mondal,
let me remind you for one of the most condemned police officers in the country, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, who was responsible for bringing in this STF in Kolkata, and he is responsible for arresting all those dreaded terrorists, beginning from the terrorists in American attacks till even what the NIA investigated in Kagaragar Barwan. He is responsible. But look at the tragedy of this man. because he was hounded by the BJP government, especially by the Home Ministry, and that's why now he is in a different department altogether.
Mr.
We
Mondal,
salute Mr. Rajiv Kumar
Mr.
for
Manojit
his
Mondal.
good work. Yes.
You mentioned that Kolkata police also is responsible for these arrests, but what we have heard from Delhi is that it was the NIA along with the Central Intelligence team which went ahead and arrested these people. The reason I'm asking you is because the governor has also questioned your police for quote-unquote ostrich-like attitude.
You just let me know how many terrorist attacks you have seen in Kolkata after 2001. You give me the facts. This governor is in delusion. This governor is in delusion. He doesn't know the facts. Give me statistics. How many terrorist attacks took place in Bengal or in Kolkata after 2001?
But Mr. Mondal, the allegation is that they were conspiring in Murshidabad to attack Delhi and other parts of the country.
There are many terrorists who are conspiring in Delhi. Should we blame the Delhi government? Should we blame the Home Ministry? Many terrorists are being arrested in Delhi. I mean, what are you talking about? They are moving across the country. And if anybody is to be blamed, it's because of the people who are manning the borders. How can they sneak into India? It's because of the lackluster attitude of the border security forces. They bribe the security forces and then get in. And we do share borders with Bangladesh and Nepal. Everybody knows it. So, rather than questioning or criticizing the Bengal government, they should work in tandem with the Bengal government to man the borders properly. But the problem lies that if that happens, how will they make this kind of nasty politics?
All right.
Even the governor is dragged into this kind of politics, and he is known for doing this. He's been doing since his tenure in Bengal in last year.
All right.
I'm not surprised.
Okay, Mr. Mondal, thank you so much for joining us and countering what the Bharatiya Janata Party was saying so far. Manojit Mondal, a supporter of the Trinamool Congress, countering the Bharatiya Janata Party's allegations, but Bengal government is not doing enough to stop radicalized elements in the state of West Bengal. Thanks also to my colleagues Neetu Raghukumar and Swagato Mukhopadhyay. We will keep our focus on this story, but for now, slipping into a very quick break. Stay with us for more news on the other side.